Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favourite Brendan Fraser movies. I thought this would be an apt time to sort of talk about my favourite movies by Brendan Fraser, as recently he's just won his first Oscar, and well deserved as well. And yeah, it just got me thinking about some of his movies that I really enjoy. But yeah, before I get into the list, want to give a shout out to a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list for me. The Quiet American with Michael Caine, that was one I enjoyed but didn't make the list for me. George of the Jungle is a childhood classic. Looney Tunes back in action as well. That movie's flawed, but I do enjoy it for what it is. Mrs. Winterbourne as well with Shirley MacLaine and Ricky Lake is a good movie I enjoy. Encino Man as well, or California Man as it's known here in the UK. But yeah, I think he showed up in a few Pauly Shore movies as well, and Blast from the Past as well with Alicia Silverstone was another movie I enjoyed with him in. But yeah, those are all of my honourable mentions that I thought I'd give a shout out to before going into the main list. So we're going to kick it off with number 10, and this might be a controversial pick. I know there's a lot of hate for this movie. I enjoyed it for what it was, mainly for the performances, and that is Crash. A movie I enjoyed the first time I watched it. Really did enjoy it. But it wasn't until, after I'd watched it and I was reading about this movie and how this movie kind of sort of angers people, and with what it touches on with race and things like that. I think this beat as well Brokeback Mountain for Best Picture, which I think a lot of people were furious over. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. The best part about it is definitely the performances in it, and yeah, it's just nice to see Brendan Fraser in there as well. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick. That's Crash. So coming in at number 9 for me is a movie he's in with Ian McKellen, and that is Gods and Monsters. So this pretty much follows Ian McKellen's character, who I think it's based on the director of the first two Frankenstein movies, and it sort of follows his later years in life. And Brendan Fraser pretty much plays his housekeeper or his gardener, and Ian McKellen's character just becomes really unhealthily obsessed with him. And yeah, this has got, some great performances in by the two leads. Really like this movie for what it is. Didn't like it the first time I watched it, but on repeat viewings, it is growing on me. But I do enjoy it again, like I said, for the performances. Fraser and McKellen are great in this movie. So yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Gods and Monsters. Next up at number 8 is a fairly recent movie. Fairly recent for me watching it. The movie's from 1994. But yeah, I hadn't heard of this one, and I went into it and I was quite surprised by it, to be honest. And it's a movie with Albert Brooks and of course Brendan Fraser, and that is The Scout. This is another great baseball movie that sort of went under the radar for me. So you've got Albert Brooks pretty much playing the scout in this film, and he's looking for the next superstar baseball player, and that just happens to be Brendan Fraser's character. And yeah, the movie takes off from there. He finds him. He's an incredible talent, really takes to the game. But as the movie progresses, you find out more about Brendan Fraser's psyche and what he's like as a person, and it could potentially be dangerous to Albert Brooks's character. But the movie touches on those ideas, but it doesn't grab them and run with it. It sort of touches on them, and it doesn't really delve too deep. But I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was really fun, really entertaining, and yeah, that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, that is my number 8 pick, The Scout. Coming up next at number 7, we've got an early role with him in as well. And I think this is one of the first movies to star Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together, and that is School Ties. So yeah, this one again is kind of like a Prejudice movie show. I want to say. So Brendan Fraser, I think he's Jewish in this movie, and the school he attends is people really do hold that against him, and that's the movie. It's got a great cast to it. Fraser in it himself is great, and yeah, it's just dealing with those prejudice that comes with everyday life, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a great movie, really well acted, and it's one of Fraser's best. So yeah, that is my next pick, School Ties. Coming up next, we've got another movie that I recently watched for the first time. He has quite a smaller role in this film. It's got a great ensemble cast. But as I delve into the film more, explaining about it, you'll see why his role is quite small in it. So the next film I've picked is 20 Bucks. So yeah, the premise of this movie is basically a $20 bill gets withdrawn from an ATM, and you follow the $20 bill throughout the movie as it gets exchanged from person to person. And you've got Brendan Fraser's character in this who kind of plays like this construction worker. And I don't want to delve too much into what happens per story because the stories are quite short. And yeah, it's just a really good, fun film, really well executed idea. And Fraser in the movie is again great. So yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. It was a breath of fresh air to watch it because I kind of hadn't seen this concept done before with a movie, and it's just a great cast. And Fraser's really fun in the movie. So yeah, that is 20 bucks. So coming up at my number 5 pick is a movie that's quite hard to get hold of here in the UK, but I really enjoy this movie. I like it for what it is, and that is With Honors. Again, another movie with an absolutely brilliant cast. You've got Patrick Dempsey in there, Brendan Fraser, of course, and you've also got Joe Pesci as well. So it pretty much follows these university students, and one of them, played by Brendan Fraser, comes across Joe Pesci's character, who plays this sort of homeless man. But there's more to him than meets the eye, and that's all I'm going to say about this movie. It takes off from there. Joe Pesci for me is the star of this movie. He's great in the film, but Fraser is also really good as the person who sort of wants to help him and change up his life a little bit. But yeah, really really enjoy this one. It's really well acted again, and I just have a great time with this movie. Really bittersweet ending as well to this one. But yeah, that is With Honors. So coming up next at my number 4 pick, and again this might be a surprise to some people, but it's the most recent film he's done, and that is The Whale, coming in at number 4. Now I think why this movie I haven't really ranked it any higher is because I do have issues with the film. I think it's certain characters in the film for me are just way too unlikable. Um, but the reason why I've got it at number 4 is because of Fraser himself. He is the driving force of this movie. His performance is nothing short of a miracle. In my opinion, he is just great. Everything he taps into, everything he channels in this movie is just completely on point, and he is I don't want to say a joy to watch, but he nails it. He knocks it out of the park. Um, he's brilliant. It's like watching a masterclass in acting. Um, his performance in this film, really, really well deserved of his Oscar as well. Just an overall brilliant performance. But like I said, the movie is difficult to watch. Some of the characters in it are hugely unlikable, but he himself is just a wonder, and yeah, he's brilliant in this film. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick, The Whale. Coming up next at number 3 is a comedy movie with Fraser, Adam Sandler, and Steve Buscemi, and that is Airheads. This movie's so much fun. I just have an absolute blast with it. So yeah, this is pretty much stars the 3 actors who pretty much are in this rock band, and they want their shot. They want to promote their CD, and they end up taking this radio station hostage, and the hijinks ensue from there. It's great. All three actors have great chemistry in it as well. Judd Nelson and Chris Farley are also in this, and they give great funny performances too. Really, really a lot of fun, this film. I just really, really enjoy it. If you like these actors and you've seen them in other movies before, I think you kind of know what you're going to get into with Airheads. It's a lot of fun and I really enjoy it. So yeah, that is my number 3 pick, Airheads. So coming up next at number 2 this isn't a great movie, but it's one I watched so much growing up, and I just have so much fun with this film, Bedazzled. So yeah, this is the remake. I've never seen the original, the Peter Cook, Dudley Moore one. I've only seen this one, directed by Howard Ramis, with Fraser and Liz Haley as the devil as well. The two of them just have great chemistry in this movie. You've got Fraser, who kind of plays this worker who's in love with this girl at work, and he just basically sells his soul for 7 wishes, and each time he makes a wish, it comes true, but there's always a catch, there's always a snag that kind of ruins it for him. But yeah, the movie is so much fun. It's flawed, it's not great, but the entertainment value is just through the roof for me, and I just have so much fun with it. And yeah, that's why it's my number 2. So yeah, that is Bedazzled. So coming up at number 1 for me, this is the movie my mind's eye goes to when I think of Brendan Fraser, and it is The Mummy from 1999. Yeah, I have a blast with this film. Really do enjoy it. It's cheesy, it's corny, but it's so much fun. I love the chemistry with him and Rachel Weisz and John Hannah in this movie. They are just great in this film. I can't just stress how much fun I have with this movie. I just really enjoy it. It's so entertaining. And it was great to see them return in the second one as well. The second one's not as good in my opinion. It's a good companion piece with this movie, if you want more of this film. But yeah, it really is good. I really love, how this movie sort of captures Egyptian culture as well. It's just a really awesome movie that I just absolutely adore. And it's my favourite Brendan Fraser movie. I just have an absolute blast with it. So yeah, that is my number 1 pick, The Mummy. So yeah, gonna leave the video there, guys, and hope you've enjoyed it. Just gonna say thanks very much for watching. Let me know some of your favourite Brendan Fraser movies down below in the comments as well, and I'll get back to everyone. And yeah, just again, thanks very much for watching. So yeah, gonna leave the video there, guys, and say stay safe. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.